Winter Saviour, written by Qoutewithhope and read by Eleanor Elizabeth. Summary: the Yamazawa's car got stuck in an unexpected snowstorm. Good thing Hitoshi knows someone who can help. The day was meant to be normal. Nothing more than a shopping trip and then coming home.
Hitoshi, I'm going to kick your ass.
Aizawa looked out his window, the sunlight outside replaced by black.
Hey now, don't blame me. It's not like I knew this was going to happen.
The man leaned forward till his whole chest lay on the steering wheel. That only seemed to aggravate the raven-haired man more.
It was your idea to change the route, pups.
Hitoshi, you're not helping.
Moments before, they had been following their normal plans, picking a different market than their usual. But, of course, the world believed this change was far too different and decided to punish them for it by dropping almost 200 pounds of snow right on top of them. Well, it was less the world's fault and more a child with a weather quirk having a meltdown, but it was an issue. With a sigh, Aizawa made to move and leave the car before it got shoved right back against him. He tried again, and again, and then came to his conclusion.
Please tell me we aren't snowed in. Please, for the love of everything, tell me I'm not stuck in a car with you all against my will.
With one hand about to pull the door handle off, and the other slowly combing down his face, groaning in practical agony. "Aw, come on, Dad. You know you love us."
"Yes, I do, Airy, but not when it's all four of us, in a small car, freezing our butts off."
"Well, why don't we try and pass the time? I know some..."
No!
The entire car cut him off with grim looks, knowing exactly what the blonde had in mind.
"What? You didn't even hear my idea!"
Hisashi flailed his hands with his mouth agape. Eri leaned forward in her car seat, head resting on the shoulder of Aizawa's seat. "I'm sorry, Papa, but I don't want to hear you sing the same line over and over." Before he could object, Hitoshi joined in without looking up from his phone. "Changing one word doesn't make the line any different." Hisashi pouted, slumping down in his seat with his arms crossed. For the next hour or so, Shota had been doing anything to get a connection to the outside world. He tried calling, texting, even emailing heroes and friends to try and get help, but nothing went through. Not even the emergency lines would pick up at this point, and he was starting to get worried. So he decided to check where they were. If he eventually did get someone to respond, the more accurate the location, the better.
Wait, if GPS works, what the hell is blocking my calls? Hey, Hito, could you check your GPS?
Looking away from the brightness of his screen, he turned back to his son.
Yeah, well, damn.
Suddenly, there was a lot less light in the car.
Your phone just died, didn't it?
With a nod of his head, Hitoshi leaned back in his seat.
The latest thing I got was some street numbers, but none that I recognized.
Shota seemed to not be surprised by that.
Well, we are in Suthon. I wouldn't be too shocked if nothing was familiar.
Hitoshi paused. He may not have recognized the building numbers. However, he did know that name. The question was, from where? "If you ever need anything, I'll be over in Suthon Prefecture." Heart emoji. Bunny. Snapping his head up, Hitoshi lurched forward onto the center console.
"I think I might have a way to get us out."
While Hisashi and Eri looked at him with pure hope, Shota was a lot more skeptical. Reaching for his dad's phone, Hitoshi gave a trusting look towards him.
"Hitoshi, you better not be getting our hopes up."
Dropping the phone into his palm, Shota went back to trying to heat himself up by rubbing his hands together.
"Fine, but you can't say a word."
Typing in the memorized number, he could only hope his bubbly boyfriend would answer. After a few rings, the line picked up.
"Hello?"
"Izu, hey, how are you?" Hitoshi was suddenly extremely awkward, as all of his family stared at him, so he put the phone on speaker to get some distance.
"I'm good. Are you okay? You sound kind of panicked."
Izuku's voice got very concerned, but he still had his slight cheeriness to it.
"Yeah, well, we kinda need your help."
Hitoshi couldn't stop the weariness in his voice. He knew Izuku would be anxious about his family, but hopefully that wouldn't matter right now. "What do you need?" All the sweetness in his voice had completely disappeared, replaced with a seriousness and concentration.
My family and I got stuck in a quirk accident, the snowstorm one.
Hitoshi was beginning to lose focus, mumbling a little in his efforts to stay calm. The situation was starting to dawn on him, and the what-ifs were not looking too pretty. Okay, Hito, I love you, but I don't need why or what. I need to know how I can help. His thoughts were interrupted by clicking and some movement. Izuku always seemed to know what to do in situations like this.
Right, we can't get through to anyone, and our car is quickly losing heat.
The clicking on the other end paused for a second, and Hitoshi could practically hear Izuku coming up with a plan. Okay, I need you to stay on the call with me so I can get your location. What's the phone at? Swiping down, the home screen of Cats was covered by setting information.
43%.
He began muttering some numbers before concluding, That should last. A ding stopped all of the extra noise for a few seconds, until Izuku spoke up. Gotcha! Wow, you are close! The sound of tapping stopped altogether. He could hear jackets ruffling together. Alright, I should be there in about 10 minutes. You got lucky. Your car is closer to the edge of the storm. This seemed to cause some panic in his father at the idea of the team going out in this cold storm alone. Hang on, little listener. You shouldn't come out here. It's far too dangerous. Wouldn't it be better to call 118? Hitoshi glared at his pops. Why did he have to say anything? Izuku let out a heavy sigh, the rattles of zippers in the background. Unless you want to be stuck out there forever, that's not the best idea. No one comes to this prefecture. Hisashi and Aizawa share a look of doubt. Well, that can't be true. Heroes are in all He was cut off by the boy on the other end of the line. I'm sorry, Mr. Yamazawa, but no heroes come to this prefecture. There's no cameras for popularity points here. The sound of a door slamming shut and the loud crunch of snow could be heard. Let's leave that topic for now. Besides, I'm sure Eri would love to talk to you. At the sound of her name, Eri sat up straighter in her car seat, an excited grin gracing her lips. Hello, Eri, how are you? Izuku's tone flipped like a switch, from stubborn and stern to cheery and warm. Hi, Mr. Izuku. I'm kind of cold, but I'm happy now. Well, that's good. I'll make sure to have some warm blankets for when we see each other, okay? She bounced a little in her seat, excited that Broccoli Man was going to save her. Okay. For the next 15 minutes or so, they continued to make small talk, asking about plans or food preferences. Shota listened in, never saying a word but analysing the mystery person who all of his family seemed to know. Even if this is Hitoshi's boyfriend, why the hell does Hisashi know him but not me? You could hear whatever Izuku was using to make his way through falter in its path. Hey, I think I found you guys! The passenger side door was tapped on a few times before the snow was rubbed off it, Izuku coming face to face with a very tired Shota. Jumping back a little, his yelp being heard through the phone, he made his way over to Eri's door and waved in. Could one of you try your door? I want to know if it's frozen before I do anything. Both of them tugged on their door handles to no avail. Nothing. 1 second. Izuku disappeared from their sight, but quickly reappeared with a nod. Mind trying it again? Pop. Aizawa quickly threw his door open and made movements to stretch his legs, while Hisashi began climbing his way across the center console to open the door. Izuku was quick to get Eri out of her car seat and lend a hand to Hitoshi, who was slightly stuck between the car seat and the passenger seat. It's gonna be a while until the ice around your car melts, but you can stay at my apartment if you'd like. Eri looked up to her partners with pleading eyes.
It's not like we have much of a choice. Thank you so much, Midoriya.
Hiding a grimace at the name, he waved his hand nonchalantly. Please, call me Izuku. Come on, the walk isn't too long. Taking Eri's small hand in his, the group began walking the melted path. The farther they walked, the more scorch marks began to appear on the ground. Leaning closer to Izuku, Hitoshi whispered, Hey, Izuku, how did you get us out? Smiling a little too innocently, he replied, Oh, flamethrower. He said as if that was a normal answer. Blinking at him for a few moments, all he could do was shrug and continue. You know, a few months ago, I would have been so much more concerned. They soon made it to a worn apartment complex, heading up the stairs and stopping in front of a door with an extreme amount of locks. "Here we are. I don't have much, but feel free to make yourself at home." Opening the door, the family was met with pure warmth, accompanied by the sweet smell of cinnamon. The room was nice and looked nothing like the outside. Hung on the walls were pictures of beautiful landscapes and even a few selfies of their son and daughter. While the rest of the family investigated the living room, Izuku made a break for the kitchen, dragging Hitoshi with him. Gripping Hitoshi by the shoulders, he could see the now prominent panic in his boyfriend's eyes. "Why in hell didn't you say that you had 2 pro-heroes as parents?" Izuku whispered. They both knew of Izuku's not-so-legal lifestyle, and how it wouldn't be too hard for officials to take everything he has left and throw him into the foster system. "I thought you picked up on that. I never made any effort to hide it." Groaning, Izuku leaned on the counter with his head in his hands. "You don't understand how much illegal stuff I have in this house. The hell, I'm illegal!" Considering how he was yet to be emancipated and was far too young to have a full system of jobs, he was right to sound almost hysterical. Rubbing his back, Hitoshi leaned on the counter next to Izuku. "It's gonna be fine. Knowing them, they're more concerned about warming up and getting home." Just then, Hisashi knocked on the door, announcing his presence. "Hey, kiddos! I just wanted to give you an update. Shota and Eri fell asleep, and I wanted to know how you two were doing." His voice was much softer than usual, almost sounding like a regular person. Playing off the conversation from earlier, Hitoshi looked up at his father. "We're fine. He's just a little overwhelmed about both of you being here." A guilty look crossed Hisashi's face, reminiscing on the time that he had to meet Shota's family. He'd promised himself to never let his kids meeting the parents get as bad.
"Say, why don't we order dinner? I'll pay, and we can all just chill until the car defrosts."
To those who say everything can't be solved with food, it certainly solves this problem. After the 3 had found something agreeable for everyone, now came one of the worst parts of the night. Waiting. Hey there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It's Ella, and I hope you're having a lovely day today. Part 5 of window displays. It just warms my heart so much. I love this series so much. It's so adorable. I love the Shindeku content. Like, Izuku and Hitoshi are such a good couple, and I love this for them. I mean, I'm a big multi-shipper. I ship everyone with everyone pretty much at this point, but I gotta say, Shindeku has a piece of my heart for sure. But what do you think? What ships do you have? What is your favorite My Hero ship? Let me know in the comments down below. I like to get a little gauge of what people like. I might even reveal what mine is, and that's some top secret information right there. But be sure to let me know in the comments down below so we can get a chat in. I love talking in the comments, guys. It's a fun time. You could also like the video if you liked it, and to boost my serotonin levels. I need the dopamine hits, people. You can also subscribe to be notified whenever I make new videos. And I don't know what the bell does, but YouTube a TM. I'm not, but it's funny. It's funny. You can also join the Discord. That's a great time. I'll link it in the description down below. As always, it's a great time. We laugh, we joke. We're a great big family over there. It's very chaotic, but it's very fun. But until I see you again, be sure to practice some self-care. Bed on time, because you need the sleep. It helps your brain functioning. And you should also be eating fruits and vegetables, because they're important and you need the nutrients. I know you don't have the nutrients. I know you've also not been drinking water. So up the water intake, yeah? You know why? Because this is a threat. You're being threatened to take care of yourself. So you better be doing it, because I've been letting these go as near empty threats for too long, and you guys have been getting away with it. And I'm not going to allow it. I will catch you guys later.